Welcome back to Restauranttopia. I got a great episode today. Dave Ross sitting here with Brian Seitz. How you doing, Brian?
Good, buddy.
Anthony Hamilton.
No complaints.
Awesome. This episode is entitled,
Are You Not Entertained?
Why is that so funny?
What?
It was great. I think you need to stand up and flex like you know, like Russell Crowe stuff.
I need to be in the
gladiator outfit. I agree wholeheartedly.
No, the Coliseum.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
it's
then.
actually the location. Yeah.
Well, we could probably book a ticket now.
So, are you not entertained? Ways to bring excitement and engagement to your restaurant customers' experience.
Oh, that's good.
That's good. I like
So
that.
that's what we're going to go over today. So I got the opportunity to attend a conference a few weeks ago, and a company was doing a presentation called Circana. So Circana is the old NPD that did like all kinds of statistics for food service and retail and things like that. And
Have you ever heard of this?
I have not.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah,
Okay,
so Circana, and look it up. Circana, they got great data. But as we march into 2024, and we've been through inflation, restaurant prices are probably as high as they've ever been. Everybody's talking about it. We need to start understanding the customers, like how they want their experience to go in the restaurant. You know what I mean? Now, I'm going to go through a list of some stuff. I'm going to give some reasons why we should do it, go through a list of a few things, and some of these may not even pertain to your concept. So I'm going to try to be as general as possible and then, let the conversation happen.
But useful.
But useful, yeah. But I'm saying, like, it's okay if some of this stuff doesn't fit your concept.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a lot of stuff here.
It's not going to be for everyone, but
Correct.
Some of the stuff will be for your concept.
No question.
And I can't wait to hear this because I think this is something people are missing.
Yeah.
I think it is a total, just a need for one, the post-pandemic consumer, but two, the post-pandemic operator who is now charging a ton of money.
Right.
No fault of their own. They're just trying to make a living, but everything is more expensive from labor to food. So the person needs to really perceive, as Anthony Hamilton said in our last episode, high value, which I love. Anthony, you were spot on.
I like value.
And you can't continue to keep charging more and give the same.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So you might look at the food cost and say, well, this is what I have to charge for the food cost, and it's the same quality food. Mm-hmm. Great. But what else are you giving to your customers? So let's just talk about the data. People are trading down these days. You know what I mean? The consumer's trading down. And what do I mean by that? There's fewer visits per capita since 2021. Mm-hmm. Okay. So they're visiting restaurants less. Okay. There's a channel shift to QSR. So full service restaurants declining, QSR is going up. Okay. The cheaper day parts. Okay. So there's morning meals. And then this was an interesting one, PM snack. Yep. They have a whole day part called PM snack now. Okay.
I haven't had my PM snack in a long time. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
That's cool.
It's actually becoming like a viable restaurant meal period, major metropolitan areas. Technomic was reporting on the same thing.
Yep.
So
Snacks.
Are they just, because I'm old enough to remember appetizers. Is that what they are? Like, what is it?
No, more like tapas, meat, aperitivo. Like small plates at the happy hour bar.
Okay, so I'm going in. Am I still having a drink, or am I just
Up to you if you want.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
This is potentially, you're going to get a drink, or you just want to be out of the house. You're coming home from a late meeting. All these things like just that you're stopping in. You're grabbing a bite. You're grabbing a bite.
3 o'clock, yeah. But I'm not having a full meal because I'm probably going to eat with my family at 7.
Or you're trying to save money.
Yep.
Or I shouldn't say trying to save money, trying not to spend so much money.
Right.
And I think that's where the motivation behind this comes, if I'm not mistaken, right? Is customers are fatigued,
Absolutely.
right? So they're finding a new meal period that's more affordable and quicker and easier.
Yep. And there's fewer extras. So attachments, sides, apps, desserts, all those things, those are down. Okay. If you look at the data. Cheaper items. Okay. This is, I'm going to use a national chain example here, but Chick-fil-A's regular sandwich is up over 3% and their deluxe sandwich is down 0.5 point. There's an 80 cent difference between the two.
Yeah. And so answer me this though too, that they talk about Chick-fil-A's portion sizes.
No.
Because
they may have that. It wasn't part of what
I'm interested to see what that is, because I feel like, my kids love the place. So we go there from time to time, and I feel like the sandwich gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And that's the old shrinkflation we talked about not too long ago.
Yeah. Other thing on the smaller size, and this is they use another national chain example, but the DQ Mini Blizzard versus medium and large, up almost 2 points. The medium large is down almost 2 points. So, some of these things, and then there was actually, they've tracked that more adults are ordering kids meals, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
I had this conversation not too long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's doing this?
A lot of people.
But
they put the meme of like Travis Kelce yelling at Andy Reid, and it said for kids only.
No, but okay, you're an operator though.
Yeah.
What do you, I mean, it's there was an episode about this.
Well, this operator made a huge mistake, and they put their kid menu. I shouldn't say it like that. They made a mistake, and they put their kids menu on the regular menu for the sake of convenience. The problem is when you put the kids menu on the regular menu, guess who sees it? Everybody.
Yeah.
If you only hand the kids menu out to kids,
it should be a separate menu with the coloring on the one side.
Exactly.
Yeah, got it.
A sweet maize or something.
Okay,
Yeah, gotcha.
I totally agree. I mean, that's. It's not laziness. It's just it's
quite
No,
the opposite.
It's not thought out.
No,
It's
they
not
were
thought
doing
out.
it. They were doing it for efficiency because they got tired of handing out separate menus.
Yeah.
So it was just a bad decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a couple other data points I'll get into, and we'll get off the boring data stuff. This stuff is important, and this will all be in the show notes.
This is interesting. I'm surprised by this.
Yeah, so these things are happening, but why entertainment? Why do people want to? What is telling me that this episode is important? That you need to think about entertainment in your restaurant. Okay, when you look at retail spending, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but there's 2-3 things that are up, okay, significantly, and they're the highest. They're the highest increases in retail spending. Okay, the first one is auto parts. Okay. It's up 9%
Because they're not buying new cars.
exactly.
Right.
So
And they're fixing their stuff.
they're exactly. So they're driving the car longer than they normally would.
Mm-hmm.
They're investing more in the car to make sure it's running properly and things like that. And doing those things.
that was the plan, wasn't it? Slow down car buying, if I remember correctly.
Well, there's a plan. I don't know if we're privy to.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, exactly. That's the public facing.
That's
plan.
not. That's not only a different episode. That's a different podcast.
Yeah, that's it.
And then the second one, which is up 7%, is a category called prestige beauty.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your that's your
I mean,
wife's.
none of us have spent
say,
in that
those are-
category. What is that?
Well, these are your perfumes and your colognes and your
okay.
face washes and your lotions and your things that and the way it was described in this presentation was that people are not spending as much money as they used to, discretionary, maybe going out, doing things, all that stuff. And so this is what they're doing to make themselves feel good.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So they still want to pamper themselves. They still want to feel good. They still want to have like a little extra something, but they're not, they don't want to, they don't want to spend 20, they want to spend 10 or 5 or, you know what I mean? And they're, so that spending's up 7%. Okay. And then the other thing on entertainment, this will probably make sense, but it shocked the shit out of me when I first saw it.
Okay.
Was that there's an artist that's become very popular lately. Maybe you haven't heard of her, Taylor Swift. Okay.
Is this the country singer dating the football player?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Travis Kelce's girlfriend.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know. Travis Kelce's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know exactly. Yeah. Okay.
So she sings. Okay.
No shit.
And she does these
Like
concerts.
lip syncs or like she's actually a singer.
I don't know what she does. I
okay.
don't pay attention that much. I mean,
Okay.
there's I'm hearing
She's
music,
an up-
her lips are moving.
She's
okay?
an up
That's
and coming artist.
Okay. Dance.
She's only at like the
Triple-
one.
She might
triple-
dance.
triple
She's
that?
only at the 1 billion threshold now. She's just small potatoes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Not like Restauranttopia, but
of course not.
But she
I like to lift people up.
Yeah, I feel it.
does
good for her.
anybody know what these tickets cost?
I actually know.
You actually know?
How much are they?
Because I can find it on your bank account, or because you know?
Oh, I'm not even lucky enough to be able to buy them.
So I ran into someone the other day who was actually flying to Ireland to take in one of her concerts because it was actually cheaper
Yes.
to buy the plane tickets to fly overseas than it was to get the same seats here.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. Okay.
Yeah.
But people, I mean, she's become a billionaire from this. Okay. So do you think people want to be entertained? Do you think that there's some value to that? Now I'm going to share a restaurant stat, and this is what blew me away.
Yeah.
Was that she has done in the U.S. 3-night tours. So there's certain cities, I think there might have been 10 or 12 of them that had 3 shows
Yeah.
in that city. Okay. The cities that had 3 shows, the restaurant transactions, the lift in restaurant transactions in those cities was 2% for the whole city
Wow.
in places where she had 3 shows.
Mm-hmm.
Is that effing wild? Like she's literally like boosted cities' economies.
Yeah. It's something in people right now that they are willing to spend enormous amounts of money on an experience.
Yep.
And it still feels so rare to be entertained. And I was talking to an operator this week about it's not just the wine selection. It's the private dinner in the wine room.
Yeah.
And it's the chef's table. It's the elevated, and I'm not talking like, 20 feet up, but just the corner booth that's 8 inches higher, so it feels exclusive.
Well, everybody wants the good seats.
Yeah, and I'll share a personal experience. So about a month ago, I got the opportunity to be with a small group of friends and do a wine dinner. So you would think a wine dinner is an experience, you know what I mean? But I've been to wine dinners before. The food was solid, the wine was good. Like, it was a great experience. After, they said, "Hey, we have a cigar room over here where some of our people have lockers, and people will bring their own whatever, and they rent lockers. Yeah. And then they've got like leather couches and stuff like that. And they're like, you can use this room after." And none of us were cigar smokers, but we went and we just hung out in the room, and we still ordered a few drinks. And after the wine dinner,
was it tartine?
Yes. But that made that wine dinner from, hey, that was a nice wine dinner, to, dude, that was a cool experience, man. And I didn't even know they had that room. And you know what I mean?
Yeah,
do I have anything? You know what I mean?
That room is cool.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So
cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. So I was like, it took what most restaurants would consider this is our premier experience, and even went like further. You know what I mean? So that was really cool.
What helps about that too is they really rounded out the decor to make you feel like you're in France somewhere, right? Yeah. With the cobblestone ceilings and archways and things of that nature too. He's done a lot of work on that location.
Yeah, for sure. So
Dean's a good operator.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not suggesting circus freaks or firewalkers, or like, this is not what we're talking about. But there's certain things.
However, if you did do that,
well,
it would be a draw.
That might pertain to your concept. Okay. So I'm not excluding it, but I'm saying but there's things that we need to, as restaurant operators, say, what am I providing my guests with other than, food at an inflated price?
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
We had the episode on the 5 common mistakes that operators are making now, but number 5 on there was hospitality. This goes one step further. Like, you no longer can you just be pleasant and accommodate the person's needs. You have to go above and beyond and entertain them.
Yeah.
So I'm going to rifle through some ideas. Okay. We're going to have some nice conversation about it and see what strikes our listeners' fancy. So.
I think Anthony and I are going to be the first ones to shit on your point here.
No, I mean, potentially.
There's fun. One thing we're good at.
And I'm 100% on board for that. Okay? So let's go.
And
let's go.
I'm, the yin and the yang. I will also, if they're good, I'll say they're good.
Okay. Love it.
I will not.
So I'm withholding all my positive comments.
That's it.
So customer engagement. Let's talk about customer engagement. So the first bullet point is interactive menus and specials. Okay. So what do I mean by interactive menus? Like, do you have the ability for the customer to actually place their own order somehow, depending on your concept, whether it be a kiosk or a tablet or something like that? I was at a restaurant in where was I at? I was in Florida somewhere, and it was a taco. I don't want to say like Tex-Mex concept in a mall. Okay. And I had my kids with me and my wife, and we said, okay, this looks kind of cool. Went in, and there's no menus. You do the QR code, and it takes you to a mobile website where you do all the ordering. So I wanted chips and salsa and guacamole, whatever. I order it. All of a sudden, boom, somebody shows up. Like, nobody greeted us. I want water. I want whatever. Like, everything was coming to the table based on what I was entering into this app.
Wow.
And my wife hated it. I thought, this is kind of cool. You know what I mean? I liked it. But it was different. You know what I mean? Like,
I love it if you have awkward service. If you have amazing service, I don't love it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because like amazing service blows your mind. But how many times you go out to a restaurant and you have amazing service? Most of the time you have decent service, right?
Yeah.
So if you replace your decent service with that, I love it. It's like, it's magical.
Yeah.
But
But could they have overlaid a greeter and someone?
Well, and listen, there was a hostess. I mean, they sat us, like, there was that kind of stuff. And I don't remember. Maybe she took our drink order. I don't remember. But I'm just saying the whole process was really just, it wasn't a server coming over every 5 minutes, like, hey, how's it going? Or, hey, what can I get? Whatever. It was like, just at your pace, you're putting it in, and then boom, a couple minutes later, you show up. There's my drink. Whoop, there's my guacamole. Whoop, there's my tacos. Whoop, there, you know what I mean?
That's cool.
And it also,
it's kind of fun.
And it also, like, I probably spent more than I would have in a traditional format because I'm on a screen and I'm like, let's try this. Oh, this is kind of cool. Like,
it reminds me of the conveyor belt sushi joints. You guys ever been in one of those?
I haven't.
I have not, but I want to.
Yeah, they're fun. I was at one in DC. I spent probably 3 times the amount of money I would have spent just because you can't help it.
Next episode is at the one in Parma. You guys in for that?
Let's go.
Yeah, let's
go.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, my wife and I were talking about that the other day, that one location, because my daughter's always wanted to go. But it's a ton of fun. And you eat way too much. That's great.
Yeah, so you have the ability to do that somehow. On the specials end, are you doing weekly or monthly specials that involve your customers? Could you do some sort of voting process where you've got, you've got, hey, here's some specials for the week, coming up in 2 weeks, like you have the people in there vote and then they come back to see what won.
So I have an operator right now. They have a longstanding GM. He's been with the company for like 30 years. He was basically baked into the building. And their new social media campaign is they're sitting him down and he's asking the customers what retro dishes they want to see.
Yeah.
And then based on the votes, he's going to put them back on the menu.
Love it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I would do like a kind of a people vote with their pockets. Like you have 2 specials. You have a Travis Kelce and a Jason Kelce special, and then you pick which one's the best Kelce, but they're voting with their dollars. So like that.
Interesting. How are they voting with their dollars?
Because they're going to order the lasagna, which would be the Jason Kelce.
Okay. That makes sense.
Versus the like tuna tartare, the Travis Kelce.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
See, I like this. I'm one bullet point in and I got some encouragement. And so I'm going to keep rolling, guys.
Just wait.
We're laying positivity on you now.
Well, we're setting you up to knock you down.
Yeah.
That's
lack
fine.
of criticism is praise enough.
That's fine.
I love it, dude.
Right?
I'm going to take it either way. Bring it.
Okay.
So in-house competition in games. Okay. So can you organize friendly competitions among customers, chili cook-offs, a baking contest, or maybe not around food, fantasy football league? How do you get them in for the drafts? How do you get them in for the games? March Madness is coming up, those kind of sporting events.
Depending on when this is edited.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or we just
March Madness 2025.
Yeah, we just had March Madness 3 months ago.
How do you be the hub for those gatherings?
Yeah.
How do you get connected with, award ceremonies? Like, maybe there's schools doing certain things in the area. And that's another bullet point I'm going to talk about, like connecting with those types of places. But trivia nights.
Yeah. They're coming back.
Board games.
Yep.
Encouraging groups to come in for a social night out. You know what I mean? Something that they're not just coming in for food and drink, but they're going to do something fun.
I saw a great one. I don't know why this is like. I didn't realize when I saw the show notes in this topic, but like now it's just now that we're talking about it and unpacking it, like I do know so many examples of this. A friend of mine, his restaurant just had like an interactive dating thing on a Tuesday night.
Oh, that's cool.
And they did like, the people paid, and they're all single, obviously, this service to have the date night. And then he gave them one free drink, and then they bought more. So like clearly like people are going to buy more, and then like 10 pizzas or something like that. Whatever the food was. But he killed it that night. He had a really good night, and there was a little bit of food. It got people there, but with all the social media with all the dating apps and all the different ways to meet people, that human interaction and actually going and seeing someone that's it's not a profile pic, and you can actually they're single. You maybe have a little liquid courage and you can go approach somebody. Like I think
shoot your shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Travis Kelce did, and look what he's dating. I mean, think about that. He made the bracelets. Oh no, I said too much.
No, I think this show should be called "Are You Not Entertained, Travis Kelce?"
And maybe we could change it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just don't know why the Cavs did Jason and Travis bobblehead nights. It should have been
Brian, Dave, and Anthony bobbleheads. Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking Taylor and Travis.
I mean, just think of the cost savings on the bobblehead. No hair.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You know how much plastic they would have saved?
And the artwork. I mean,
Easy peasy.
All right, I got another one. Customer spotlights.
Yep.
Okay, monthly spotlights on regular customers, customer of the month.
Okay.
Sharing their stories on social media, and then you got the ability to have they're probably going to share on their social media.
Everything you're saying is so funny. No, I love it. I just had someone else I'm working with. They were at the bar the other day and they were talking about employees, and they're saying, "Hey, what's your favorite meal?" Just doing like a spotlight on employees, and employees say, "I like this pizza or I like this pasta." And this cute little old lady at the bar goes, "Can I have a turn?" And they're like, "Absolutely." They put her on camera and she goes, "I come here for the giant beers on Tuesdays." And it's the best thing I ever saw.
Send that to me. That is great.
They haven't posted it yet, but they know you'll see it on social media. I'm
that's
sure.
gold. That is gold.
And even if you don't want to do a customer spotlight and make it awkward for people, are you encouraging them somehow to share their dining experiences? Do you have like hashtags and different things that they can go and...
People love doing that. What's the 76th Street Deli? What was the one that
86
chicken salad.
Chicken salad.
Oh yeah, that was good. That went viral.
Good. That was a miracle.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, pretty good, right?
Yeah, pretty good. I would
Hey,
say.
listen, the guy's still in business.
Yeah, I'd say he's doing okay.
So how do you do that to get the customers a little more engaged, whether it be actually physically engaged or just engaged through their social game?
Oh, that's right. That's how he did it every time, right? It was like so many customers walked up and he'd
They
say,
walked up and,
"Hey, what'd you order?"
Hey, what are you eating?
Yeah. I love that, and it's quick. It's a
And
rapid
dude, he did
fire.
it 50 times before the one that went viral. So it wasn't like he did that once. Like he had some repetition, and then
You
that
could
one
have told me
caught.
it was the millionth time he did it, and I'd still with the virality he got was worth it.
Yeah.
You can't.
But think about that. Even if you did it a million times and you tagged that customer every time you did it,
Yeah.
and they shared it with two people,
the sprawl on that is wild.
Yeah.
Yep.
very effective. And I'll tell you what, the viral nature of that video probably had very little effect on his business versus, the people in his community that are seeing it and going there.
Right.
Because if someone from Detroit sees it, they're like, oh, let's make a road trip to Cleveland for dinner.
Yeah.
Probably not. But, everyone around you, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I agree. One thing I keep shouting out to everybody, something we learned from Sean Walsh if we had him on, is be the show, not the commercial.
Yep.
You have time for commercials, right? But be the show, however you can be the show. And these are great examples of that very thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's some entertainment options? Some of these are very common, so you hosting live music nights, right? You have, local artists that come in, open mics, karaoke, stand-up comedy, different things that
My wife is a sucker for? What's that? And she goes to a breakfast joint that closes at 3:00. And then at nighttime, they kind of sublease it out to someone else and they do drag queen bingo. And the kitchen's open. And you would not believe how many people they get in for that. Not everybody's cup of tea, but she has a blast every time she goes.
I hate it.
The bingo?
That's fair.
Bingo?
It's drag queen bingo. It's wild. It's audacious. It's in your face. It's ridiculous. It's funny. It's awesome. She loves it. She can't get enough of it.
All right.
That's great. Are other people joining her there? Or?
Yeah, it's a packed house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, just her.
She's like, she loves it. She's keeping the place alive.
Listen,
after 3
She
o'clock.
won again.
I'm sure I would
Bingo.
enjoy. I'm sure I would enjoy it too. But she and her friends, they just really can't get enough of it. It's just a let your hair down type of event, and she finds it hilarious, entertaining, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, no, I love that. And if you're that, that could be a little extreme as far as what you're doing.
Correct.
However, I like the whole premise of it. It's
Yeah.
great. Like you've got a dead space after 3 o'clock. You're at a breakfast joint, or you have a dead time, a Monday night, and you're open for dinner, and you've got, so those things are important to figure out what works in your concept. You know what I mean? Collaborating with local artists, display artwork in the restaurant. Can you have some local artists come in, or maybe there's a gallery around you that can come in and put some artwork in there and have maybe a happy hour social gathering at the bar if it works out, like to where, you've got people that, want to have some apps and drinks and check out some art, can you do that? These, I don't know if you guys have been to any of these sip and paint places. I don't know if I'm saying this right, but these places that you can basically, drink and paint, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But I've seen that in the restaurants. Like
that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
so
absolutely.
that's where I was going. Like you see these places pop up that are, that's their business, but how do you try to recreate that or partner with one of these places, say, hey, come in.
You don't have to, because the business itself is a paint and sip company. So they scout out restaurants to go to. And so what they do is you pay them a certain amount and then you get the sales of the food and beverage.
Yeah.
I love that.
You don't have to do any work.
Yeah.
They call you half the time too.
And they're putting bodies in seats.
Well, and not only that, but a lot of times it's only half's your regular customer base. The other half is the customer base of that company. And they just gather the restaurants. And from my standpoint, it never hurts to get your food in other people's mouths that have never been there before. So there's a lot of winning that goes on in that scenario.
Yeah. And also a side note is like how many restaurants you see, or maybe you're a restaurant operator listening right now, that you've got some sort of event space or extra space. You've got a separate dining room or you've got whatever. And it's just sitting dead most of the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's who they
especially on the nights that, maybe those Monday through Thursday, maybe on Friday, Saturday, you're seeing it. But on those days where, think about what you can do to utilize those spaces, to give your customers a reason to come in.
Sales per square foot matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all week long.
Yeah.
Look,
So a couple other things on the culinary side, like can you do culinary workshops and cooking classes?
Yeah.
How do you get, if you've got a chef that's willing to do that on a slower night, it's like how do you get people in and teach them how to make pasta, teach them how to, open a bottle of wine, teach them how to,
I think that can be done though too throughout the evening. When your chef is doing the table touches and comes in and has a little bit of a shtick. I don't know what the correct word is, but
I think that was fine.
Like, but yeah, like just to say, all right, hey, did you guys know this? And then not to be totally like, I'm a nerd. I love like educational stuff, but like, oh, hey, this is from this region and this is where I learned about it, give a little history. And then when I was there, I learned this, and
no, that sounds powerful.
This wine goes really well with it. Would you like to try it? Like, get an extra $100 out of somebody. Because if you tell me a great story and say it's on special, it's usually 200, but I can get it for 100 today if you guys want it. And like, like 3 bottles.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. 3 bottles.
No, for sure.
I love Brian's world.
Hey, listen, don't ask, don't get.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I like that.
But interact.
So one thing to piggyback off that, I did a couple of these very successfully at Kent for some donor dinners. And what we did is we'd have these donors come in and we'd have a cooking class that lasted 30 minutes. So they're wearing nice clothes. They got a glass of wine in their hand. We throw an apron on them and then we put them in the lab, right? So if you can create a space, it doesn't have to be very complex with a lot of equipment, but you teach them how to make an appetizer or a couple small plates, right? And then you thank them for the time. You go sit them in their seats. And then what you do as a chef is you round up all their ingredients and mise en place and you platter the stuff that they put together and then feed them their own food. It sounds silly, but it's wildly popular. The engagement was so high.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Yeah. And I think that's what people are looking for. They want to be entertained,
experience.
Whether it's the cigar lounge or it's the private room or the private table or the chef's table or just the table touch that is more than, how's your dinner? Bye.
Like we say, they're literally walking away as they finish the sentence,
There's little stuff all over the place. Interactive. If you go back to American continental dining, the table side Caesar salad, stuff like that. Or the ice cream cart at the fancy steakhouse downtown where they wheel it around. Something simple as we have a high profile operator that does balloons for kids. They have a helium tank right behind the hostess stand.
What did Swingos used to make?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, you guys
was it a flounder or a sole where they'd carve the fish?
No, it was a dessert.
Baked Alaska?
No, it was
Bananas Foster?
Bananas Foster.
Cherries Jubilee. I'm going through.
Foster.
Tableside guacamole.
Actually, I saw a restaurant do that. It was great. A little Mexican restaurant near my house does it. It's fantastic.
I love that.
Yeah. Again, I like that too.
Yeah, me too. It's hard not to.
So how about dinners combined with drinks? So you guys, obviously we talked about wine dinners, beer dinners. It became popular. I feel like I haven't seen much lately, but maybe that's still a thing. But I think you can bring that back because, I think different craft beers and get with your vendors. Like they'll set these things up for you. You just got to do the food, right?
Bourbon's not going away.
Well, I was going to talk about bourbon. I just saw a Mexican concept do tequila.
Yep.
With tequila tasting. What about cigars on the patio? If you got a patio,
sure.
Yeah.
Sure. What about doing and it doesn't have to be a guys' night, but why not? Why not do cigar guys' night and have some different things we can and maybe you don't sell as much food, but you've got heavy apps and you sell it for a certain ticket amount because normally for those things you're buying in the experience $100 $200 whatever it is to get in, and you got the 5-course meal and all the stuff. So,
but with the cigar, like going back to the vendors, go talk to the local cigar shop and say, hey, do you got do you have a box of really good cigars? And then this is not our off brand, but maybe it's our house brand of cigars, and to introduce people to those, and you can really make a whole night of it where the person would normally have dinner and then, maybe have one after dinner drink to now we're having dinner, we're having an experience, we're having multiple after dinner drinks, and we're closing the place down.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a good customer.
Yeah.
That's a good night.
No,
so
absolutely.
There's one thing about this, Dave, I think everybody needs to understand that's listening is that if you try these campaigns, you have to be stubborn about it and you have to be ready to fail. If you believe in the idea and you're going to do, say, a bourbon dinner or a beer dinner, book 3 of them before you give up on the idea. If you're going to do balloons, do it for a month.
Yes.
If you're going to do this, invest in it. Don't just try it once and say, oh, it didn't work. Like the first time is actually just a content generator, right? Like
I want to lay this down, and I'm totally where you're at right now. One email blast 3 days before it is not going to do it.
Correct.
I would do 6 weeks of your staff training up and giving the script and giving the script. Hey, we have this, this, and this, and do 6 of them. Like do 6 different things, and like say, hey, here's a flyer with your check. Like, hey, we're having these nights. They're going fast. Sign up now. Like, it's cool stuff.
And again, to Anthony's point, like let's say you're hoping to get 50 people at a beer dinner. Let's say because you got a decent space.
Yeah,
and you get 15. Are you calling 10 of your friends and say, guys, come here to the beer dinner? So now you got 25.
Yeah,
you can do the event. You got people there that are going to talk about it,
Yep.
because sometimes you got to do it. If you've never done one before and you
correct.
do one and it doesn't exceed your expectations, all of a sudden you're like, oh, that didn't work.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to gain some momentum.
Well, that's
you know
it.
what I mean? And like you said, you got to think like, okay, I'm going to do 3 of these. You know what I mean? Yeah. So no question.
Yeah, it's like the first time you played basketball, you didn't take one shot and be like, oh, that felt funny and I missed it, I give up, right? Like you kept shooting. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Shoot your shot. Like,
Hey, here we go.
Travis-
Close that circle,
like
buddy.
Travis Kelce.
Oh, God.
So my man, this is it's like you should have brought your Halloween costume.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That's
it's I'll tell you what. What's the team that they beat to get in the playoffs?
couldn't tell you. I forgot him already. Something wide right something or the Buffalo Wide Rights.
Yeah, Oh yeah. Is it still in Buffalo or they move?
I don't know. I think
You know what I love about this is
They're
that
sending them to Canada.
this is great. I love so much about this is that my topic was so fucking good that you guys couldn't shit on any of it. You had to revert to the Buffalo Bills. I love it.
we went below the belt.
I had to get real childish. And again, if I wasn't a super fan of the Browns and it was so easy to be a fan of them, it's like
I go up once a year to Buffalo and go to a game. I want to love them so much. I do.
it's
do.
okay.
They're
They're lovable.
I know.
I go to a ton of Browns games and I want them to win so much. But
You can wish in one hand and
It's like when you kidnap someone else's kid. Like you can never love them the same as your own kid,
okay.
All right. Edit that out. So the last thing I got is, are you actively trying to collab with other local entertainment venues that don't have food?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I got on here bowling. A lot of bowling alleys have, but you might have a situation where they don't have a kitchen or whatever. Axe throwing, gun ranges,
Breweries.
trampoline parks, breweries, arcades. You've seen these VR studios pop up.
Yeah.
Golf
You know what I mean?
simulators.
Golf simulators, okay? Escape rooms, okay? Laser tag, all these things that, whirly ball, like whatever. Any place that doesn't, have, they're serving bags of chips and drinks. Yeah. How do you get with them, feed their staff, and set up some sort of coupon or discount or something that, hey, when you're done here having fun, like head across the street and, you know what I mean? So if you got those places around you within your vicinity, or are you going out and actively trying to collab with them to bring their customers into your place?
Love it.
Yeah. So that's what I got, guys.
Good
I
stuff.
love it. Yeah, absolutely, man. Listen, it's the old college try. I think you got to throw spaghetti against the wall until it sticks.
Yeah.
If it didn't stick the first time, throw it again.
Yeah, but it's important because this is going to separate. This is going to put dollars in the bank account that wouldn't be there otherwise.
Yep. And if you're looking for this list, check it out on restauranttopia.com and you'll see it in the show notes. Any other ideas that you got that worked for you, please let us know. Email us. Local independent operators are our lifeblood and we care about them. And, I don't think that there's any scenario where local independent operators are competing against each other. I think it's a rising tide lifts all boats and that we can take a lot of money from the national chains and really do well as local independent operators.
Yeah, love it. We have to.
No doubt.
Yep. Awesome.
They're currently eating themselves, which is good.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody.